Hello and welcome to a new vlog and very special trip report. Today we are traveling with the AKE Rheingold, the very special locomotive. I will tell you a bit more about this later on. We're going from Cologne to Koblenz and back. Here on the map you can see the route, and now we can take a look at the arrival of this very special train at the main station of Cologne. So as you can see, my locomotive today is of the class E03, and it's the locomotive with the number 001, which actually is the second built locomotive of this type. The E03 002 was actually built first. And here you can see my car, which is an open carriage in a 2+1 configuration with a very nice interior, very beautiful interior. As you can see, there is a lot of space, big sturdy tables, comfortable armrests, a trash bin right next to each seat. We have a bit of storage space, footrests, comfortable armrests, and of course the seat itself is also very soft and very comfortable. You can also recline the seat, and actually you can do that by quite a lot. So of course that's not too comfortable for the person behind you, but for you of course it's very comfortable. Additionally, there is a lot of space for luggage, and in general those are very nice cars, and I will tell you a bit more about them later on in the video. We're taking a look at the other cars of this train. This is the only open carriage. The other ones are compartment cars. All belong to the former AKE Rheingold, but they have different interiors. Few compartments with 4 seats, most of them have 6 seats. All of them are in a first class configuration, but they use different types of seats, different seat patterns, different colors, but all carriages in this train are first class carriages. We will take a closer look at them later on. So we are traveling with AKE Eisenbahn Touristik, AKE Railway Touristik. They are offering touristic train experiences, and today we are going from Cologne to Koblenz and back as a day trip in the afternoon. Here we can see the IC1, the oldest trains still used in the long distance services in Germany. Also very nice and comfortable trains, but not comparable to this one. Here we are leaving a Cologne main station. We can see the Flix train, which is also using very old carriages, but unfortunately they are modernized and much less comfortable in the meantime, but still interesting to see. And now we are crossing the famous Hohenzollern Bridge here in Cologne, and we're heading now on the right Rhine railway line to Koblenz and back, both ways on the right side of the Rhine due to constructions. So we can continue our tour through the train. Here we can see a different carriage. As you can see, same seats but different colors, and we will take a look at a few of those carriages now. All of them are compartment cars except the one that I'm traveling in. And there's also a bistro car, which we can see here, and behind that we also have restaurant cars, but for those you need a special reservation. But you can just access this bistro car and get some drinks and some small snacks. The bistro car is a carriage of the type AR KIMBZ 262.7, and they were bought by AKE Eisenbahn Touristik in 2020 from Deutsche Bahn. My carriage is, as I said, an open carriage of the type APMZ 121.2. It's the only one in the fleet, so if you want to travel in this carriage you need to make a seat reservation. In general there is a seat reservation included, but you don't know if you will be in a compartment or in an open carriage, but you can request a certain seat. So I would recommend asking either for a compartment by the window, or for example what I did was asking for the open carriage with a single seat, which as you can see worked very well. I got a very nice seat in the middle of the carriage. The carriages were used in the former TEE Trans-Europe Express, especially in the Rheingold service, which was a very luxurious international train line going from the Netherlands via the Middle Rhine Valley most of the time to Switzerland. That was part of the Trans-Europe Express, which was a Europe-wide network of comfortable long-distance trains, completely in a first-class configuration. They were replaced by the Eurocity, which of course is much less comfortable, as it also comes with a second class and much less luxurious trains. And the Rheingold, that was one of those services, and those carriages have been exclusively built for the Rheingold, and some of them are still in use. In our train there was also some restaurant cars, so you can also make a reservation for a restaurant card. Then, for example, you also have food like coffee and cake included. But that's up to you. You can choose whatever you like when you make your reservation with AKE Eisenbahntouristik. Usually they also have a so-called dome car, which is a viewing car. There are only 5 of those made. All of them are still existing, but the one of AKE Eisenbahntouristik was unfortunately heavily damaged during a high water of a small river called Kill in 2021, and all the electrics were destroyed, so they have to rebuild this train, which of course will take a lot of time. But there are also other operators, so the other 4 cars are also still existing. Some of them are also still in use. In the meantime, we've reached Koblenz, and now I can tell you a bit more about my locomotive, which is the E03 001. As far as I know, only locomotive of the pre-series, which consists of 4 trains, which is still able to operate. There are a few differences between the pre-series and the actual series. Pre-series has a little bit less power, and it also has only 1 row of ventilation grills, whilst the actual series of the class 103 has 2 rows. That's the biggest difference you can see. There are also a few of the class 103 that are still able to operate, and a few more are conserved, still existing but not able to operate anymore. Here we are passing the Railway Museum of Deutsche Bahn in Koblenz, and here we have 2 more locomotives of this class which are able to operate. Those are trains of the actual series of the class 103, and you can see them here in the background under the roof, and as you can see they have 2 rows of the ventilation grills. So my locomotive of the class E03, the pre-series version, is the only one still able to operate, so that's something very special to be able to travel with this nice locomotive in this nice train. And you can do this also with AKE Eisenbahntouristik. They are offering several tours a year. Some of them take several days, others are just a full day. My tour was just half a day, so it was a combination of the tour I took with them in the last video, did both on the same day. So you have a lot of options to travel with this nice locomotive and this very nice train. They also announce on the website which locomotive is planned to be used. Of course that can change, but in my case I was lucky and I was actually able to travel with this very special locomotive. When it was built, it was the strongest single locomotive in the world. The pre-series version came with a power output of 5,950 kilowatt, whilst the production series has a power output of 7,440 kilowatt. So it's an extremely powerful locomotive. It was the first one that was actually able to operate faster than 200 kilometers per hour. Back then the standard was 160 kilometers per hour, but this one was able to go up to 200 kilometers per hour, and there were even a few locomotives that got some slight changes, and those were able to go up to 280 kilometers per hour. So they were extremely important for the long distance trains in Germany, being produced from 1970 on, whilst a prototype was built in 1965. Later on they have been replaced by the ICE and the class 101, which is also now slowly taken out of service already, because the classic intercity, the IC1, is slowly disappearing in Germany, but still now the class 103 is one of the best known and most liked locomotives in Germany, and in my opinion also one of the most beautiful ones ever built. Here we are already back in Cologne. We are approaching the main station of Cologne, but we're using a different route. We're going across the South Bridge of Cologne again. Now we're heading to the main station where this fantastic tour ends. It was a very nice experience. It's absolutely worth the money. It was not too expensive, so I can highly recommend taking a tour with the AKE Eisenbahntouristik if you're close to Cologne and want to travel with a very special train. We were much faster than planned, even though we had to wait a few minutes in between because some operator forgot that our train exists and couldn't find a schedule, so our train driver didn't get the permission to continue. That of course cost some time, but in the end we were still arriving much earlier than planned because we didn't have to wait at all on the rest of the journey. And that's very important to know if you make a special tour like this, an excursion by train. The train may take longer, but it might also be fast, and you need to be much earlier at the station because it's also possible that the train might leave a few minutes earlier than in the actual schedule, because there's always the possibility of last minute changes. So make sure to be a lot earlier at the station and also allow some time after the tour if you have a train to catch after this tour. So here we are back in Cologne, and now it's time to leave this wonderful and beautiful train, and of course we're going to take a look at the departure of the train here at the Cologne main station. So that's it for this video, a very special video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider to comment, like, share the video link or subscribe. And of course I hope to see you in my next video then.